Ahead on 12 News, could a fishing pond reduce crime? Why Brooklyn Park police believe it can. Then, a local school jumping into action to help fight a nationwide problem. But first, a gathering in Plymouth to address what's shaping up to be the most expensive and divisive ballot question in state history. 12 News starts right now. As Election Day nears, conversations grow louder over the proposed marriage amendment.
Monday night, the Plymouth Human Rights Committee held a forum on not only the marriage amendment, but also the voter ID amendment. Renee Bonneau is here with a closer look at that. Renee?
Mike and Alex, to people on both sides of both issues, conversation is key. And in these last few weeks of the election season, those for and against the marriage amendment promise information overload.
Marriage as the union of a man and a woman has served society well for thousands of years.
This week, the pro-marriage amendment group Minnesota for Marriage launched its first television ads.
My marriage is the most important thing in my life. Who am I to deny that to anybody, gay or straight?
The group fighting the amendment, Minnesotans United for All Families, began running its ads in mid-September.
All of the public polling on this has showed that this is a very close race.
Still, both groups will rely heaviest on word of mouth.
I just cannot imagine that in this state, we would tell all my friends who have built lives with same-sex partners that we would tell them that they are not welcome here in Minnesota.
Same-sex marriage is bad for children. It's bad for civil society and business. And it's bad for public health. It's not something we should encourage.
Monday, about 24 people attended a forum in Plymouth to discuss the amendments up for vote this November. A representative from Minnesotans United was there to speak out against the marriage amendment. Minnesota for Marriage did not attend, but John Swanson, a Plymouth resident and Republican candidate running for State House District 46A, joined the panel to speak in favor of it.
Traditional marriages last longer, and a longer lasting marriage is better for children. Traditional marriages are more peaceful, and that's good for children. Traditional marriages offer children male and female influences, and that's good for children.
When I hear these words, my heart beats faster, and I become really upset. Whether you have one mom, one dad, two moms, two dads, does not impact the well-being of their children.
Both sides of the marriage debate are stirring conversation wherever they can. Mike and Alex, they're asking supporters to spread the word by throwing house parties, posting articles on social media sites, and of course, through old-fashioned pledge drives. Mike and Alex.
All right, Renee, thank you very much. We're also seeing local governments take side on the amendments.
Cities like Golden Valley, Crystal, and Robbinsdale have passed a resolution opposing the state marriage amendment. They're among 13 Minnesota cities to take a vote no stand. For the voter ID amendment, Crystal and Golden Valley joined 6 other cities in approving resolutions against that proposal as well. So far, no Minnesota cities have taken a stand in favor of either amendment.
Minneapolis police have released a detailed account of the workplace shooting that led to the deaths of 6 people, including one from Brooklyn Center and another from Maple Grove. Police say 2 managers at Accent Signage tried to stop the shooter before he shot other employees and eventually himself. According to police, Jacob Beneke of Maple Grove and Ronald Edberg of Brooklyn Center were the 4th and 5th victims shot. Both died at the scene. Beneke was in the sales area while Edberg was shot in the loading dock. A memorial service for Edberg is being held this Tuesday evening. He was 58 years old. A funeral service for Beneke will be held on Wednesday. Beneke leaves behind a wife and son. And more details have also emerged about the shooter, 36-year-old Andrew Engeldinger. Star Tribune reports that his parents pushed him for 2 years to seek treatment for mental illness but were unsuccessful. Engeldinger had been fired from his job the day of the shooting.
A Brooklyn Park man accused of stabbing his wife to death has been found guilty of the crime. A jury convicted Prince Moore on 2 counts of first-degree murder. Prosecutors say the crime was especially heinous as the victim was stabbed more than 65 times. Moore will automatically be sentenced to life in prison. Can casting a fishing line really work to help fight crime?
All right, here we go. How's that? Is that good? All right.
Each year, Brooklyn Park Police take 150 at-risk kids and teach them to fish for a day as a way to build relationships. Now that doesn't have to be just a one-day-a-year field trip. City Council gave its approval to turn the pond outside the Community Activity Center into a permanent fishing hole for kids, and it will be stocked with fish by the DNR. City crews are removing the water right now, and within the next week, the pond will be dug deeper so fish can survive year-round.
This is just one more thing that a group of kids will come to and enjoy, be mentored by police, be mentored by contacts with the fire department, be mentored just by good, healthy activities with each other. And that's what we need. We need these kids to be doing stuff like that.
And the program is estimated to cost the city less than $2,000 a year.
At Cooper High School, athletes are adding teal to their school colors of orange and blue. Cooper athletes are using teal shoelaces and teal ribbons to raise awareness and money to fight ovarian cancer. It's an event called Tie It Teal. The Minnesota Ovarian Cancer Alliance says you probably know somebody with ovarian cancer, and at Cooper High School, everybody knew activities director Barb Lehman, who died of that disease 2 years ago.
We're wearing teal shoelaces in honor of Barb Lehman, who the stadium is also dedicated. So every varsity team here at Cooper will be wearing teal shoelaces, and dance team, swimming, and marching band will also be wearing teal ribbons in honor of her.
Athletes are asking fans to bring donations to sporting events for the next couple of weeks. That money will go to the Minnesota Ovarian Cancer Alliance. Coming up, an after-school lesson that's worth sticking around for in Brooklyn Park.
Then later in sports, highlights from a Robbinsdale area school rivalry on the tennis court.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast.
Over a generation's time, childhood obesity has tripled.
Government statistics say 17%, or nearly 1 in 5 children, is obese. In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland shows us what one Brooklyn Park school is doing to fight the problem.
It's the end of the school day at Park Brook Elementary, and many of the kids head straight for the bus to head home. But about 100 students decide to stay at school a little while longer.
Hello!
To take part in boot camp.
We started this the second day of school, and the idea behind the boot camp is to get students involved and participating, helping them with their physical fitness.
3 days a week, this group of students voluntarily take part in about 40 minutes worth of after-school exercise. This boot camp includes jumping rope,
keep pushing that rear on,
push-ups, sit-ups, hula hooping, and some good old-fashioned running. The kids say they enjoy it.
So I can be active for like sports and things and be athletic.
Because I play basketball, and this helps me do my exercise and activities that I need to do to help me.
10 times with the jump rope.
Yet these exercises will also prepare them for the Twin Cities 5K Kids Marathon this weekend.
And 70 kids signed up, and they are excited about it. Even today, kids were talking about, excited about that. This is the week for the 5K.
But according to Principal Scott Taylor, this is about much more than training for a 5K.
It's this Saturday coming up.
I understand the importance of physical fitness, but we also do have kids who are overweight, and we want to do everything we can to help them achieve.
He says that about 80% of the families at this school are in poverty, which makes buying and preparing healthy foods more difficult. So these exercises are meant to not only promote a healthy lifestyle, but they can also translate into academic success.
So the research shows that kids who are active and physically fit and engaging in physical activities, they perform better in the classroom.
You won't get much of an argument on that point from 6th grader Hope Canare.
I'm doing good right now. I love the school so far. It's one of the best schools I've ever been to.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
After boot camp, Park Brook will start the Morning Move program, which includes exercises 3 days a week before school. Coming up, a first-of-its-kind lesson that stays true to a Crystal school's roots.
But first in sports, it's back to work for the Osseo football team after a difficult blow to their season. John Jacobson is in next. A Well, we talked a little bit about the problem facing the Osseo football team. You know, they have to forfeit 2 games. I guess what's important, though, is what happens next.
Yeah, push ahead, right?
Right,
And,
keep going.
Go positive at the end of the season. It was the first 5-0 start for the Osseo football team since 1989. Now an off-field administrative error has led to the Orioles forfeiting 2 of those wins. As Jay Wilcox reports, the Orioles aren't letting it slow down their momentum.
It's back to business for the Osseo football team. After finding out at a meeting with coaches and school administrators that they'd have to forfeit their first 2 wins of the season because of the use of an ineligible player, it was time to put it aside and get back on the practice field.
You know, these are kids, they're resilient, they're going to bounce back. You know, they know, and we all know, we're 5-0, and we beat everybody up on the field so far, and that's what matters to them.
There was like kind of rumors you heard about, but today, yeah, officially I heard out for the first time, and it hurt, but like I said before, you're just going to move on and keep on playing the season.
We're excited to get back on the field on Friday. We're ready for the Pirates. The kids would like to play Park Center today if we could.
He certainly wishes it hadn't happened, but Osseo coach Darren Lamker says the school handled the situation in the right way.
Administration's handled this great. Well, it's a life lesson. You teach kids, hey, a mistake was made, you stand up, you take your punishment, and you go forward.
While it makes their record 3-2 instead of 5-0, the 2 games against Centennial and Maple Grove weren't considered conference games in the new 2-division setup in the Northwest Suburban Conference. So a conference title and playoff possibilities are still very much alive for the Orioles.
We still got that to keep going for, and we got the sections and everything else, so we got stuff to live for and play for. It'll be great.
A minor bump in the road. That's how the Osseo guys are treating the 2 forfeits. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
In other football news, Wayzata will be without standout running back Mitch Underhill for the rest of the season. Underhill tore his ACL in his right knee Friday against Minnetonka, the same injury he suffered in that knee in the season opener last fall. In girls tennis, district rivals Armstrong and Cooper went head-to-head on the court. The Hawks hosting the Falcons Monday afternoon. Highlights from #1 singles play. Cooper's Lainey Axel in the near court, playing Armstrong's Christina Conrad. And Axel with a nice cross-court shot that Conrad returns long. Later in the same match, though, Conrad, now in the near court, gets Axel on the run and wins the point, and she goes on to win the match for Armstrong 6-1, 6-2. Second singles play, Sarah Coriel of Armstrong in the near court facing Strella Navalta. Coriel wins the point and the match in straight sets. At #3 singles play, Erica Salas serving for Cooper. Jenny Fisher with a return that Salas can't quite reach, and Fisher wins 6-3, 6-2. In the #1 doubles match, Sarah Wixon and Rachel Kulbs in the fire court are playing Katie Filesticker and Kirsten White. Wixon and Kulbs win 6-3, 6-3 as Armstrong goes on to beat Cooper 6-1. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, Jason Malillo takes a look back at some of the best performances by local athletes last month. Here's a clip from that story.
Maple Grove midfielder Kaylee Beat has been the offensive spark plug for the Crimson girls soccer team this fall. The senior had scored 13 goals through Friday and helped lead MG to second place in the Northwest Suburban, including a huge victory over conference leader Andover. Hopkins senior Nora Reed is a big reason the Royals are 12-2 and ranked 5th in the state. A deadly attacker, Reed had 11 kills in Hopkins' victory over Lake Conference rival Wayzata, and she has nearly 200 kills on the season. Providence Academy sophomore running back Ryan Richelson is making a case to be the Lions' first option out of the backfield. Richelson is a straight-ahead runner that never shies away from contact, but he has speed too. Richelson rushed for 268 yards in the Lions' victory over Blake, including a school record 99-yard touchdown run on Providence's first offensive possession of the game.
You can see the rest of Jason's story on those 3 athletes this week on Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday here on Channel 12. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John. In Local Vote 2012, we hear from one candidate as he runs for re-election in the Hennepin County Board.
Jeff Johnson is running in the county's 7th district, which includes Maple Grove, part of Plymouth, as well as Dayton and Rogers. Johnson is a state representative and ran for Attorney General in 2006 before running for the county board in 2008.
I'm Jeff Johnson, and I have represented the county board for the past 4 years in much of the western part of the county. And during that time, I've tried very hard to be a voice for the taxpayers of the county. We focus very heavily on the board on what we can do to help those who receive government benefits, which is good, I think. But I think it's also important to sometimes focus on the folks who actually pay for all those benefits, the often forgotten county taxpayer. My philosophy is, when those of us in government vote to spend money, we ought to act as though that money's coming out of our own pockets rather than someone else's. And I think if we did that a little more often, you'd probably be a lot happier with your government. It's truly been an honor to serve you the past 4 years on the board, and I am asking for the privilege of doing that again. I'd appreciate your vote. Thanks.
Candidates tomorrow. Still ahead, a fall project that has students in Brooklyn Park thinking spring.
We'll be right back. And finally, students get a first-of-its-kind lesson in horticulture.
Shannon Slatton explains how local high school and college students working together from the garden to the table.
Right there is perfect.
As every day inches closer to winter,
It's our third day out here.
these students are thinking spring.
It's not going to be perfect, but getting the bricks level is the main thing.
Students from Robbinsdale's Highview Alternative Program
Yeah, this one's not right, so we got to fix it.
are at college, learning about landscaping.
How does that one look?
As they work here at Hennepin Tech,
This is a pondless water feature.
their mentors
Pretty common in the industry now where people have kind of gotten tired of maintaining ponds for water quality and keeping algae out and various things, to convert them to a pondless feature.
are tackling a harder project up the hill.
There's a pump in the ground, and there are some blocks, they look like big black milk crates really, buried in the ground.
This collaboration between high school and college students is a first.
Day one, the college students were down here showing our kids kind of the tricks of the trade, if you will.
And it's also good for my college students to work with high school students and help mentor them a little bit and just kind of show them how we construct things and the procedure and the process of what we do.
The name of this endeavor is Earth Education, or E squared, and you can see that reflected here in the design of the project. When it's finished, it'll be 2 raised garden beds, both in the shape of the letter E.
So the idea is we're constructing the raised beds here. In the spring, we'll be constructing a deer fence to go around the structure.
After students mastered this project,
It is a lot harder than it looks. We all thought it was going to be like super easy and we'd be done in a few days.
the plan is to construct similar beds at Sandburg, which will be Highview's new home.
Is it level?
Students will then work with the culinary program to grow food for the kitchen,
It's kind of 3 programs working together to accomplish one goal.
which is teaching how food on the table can actually start with skills learned here.
I like landscaping, so I was a good candidate for this job.
In Brooklyn Park, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Well, pretty impressive, and they got some help, $5,000 in grants, and Anchor Block donated all the brick that you saw there. So
Couldn't have asked for a better day to do it either.
really nice. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Community Corner's coming up next.